Hello Office 365 users, this is Marie Henderson. In this video we're going to look at the Forms platform that's available in Office 365. So I'm logged in here on my Office 365 portal, and you can access Forms either from the list of tools here on the dashboard or here in the app launcher or waffle at the top left. If you click on that, Forms is available there. If you don't happen to see it either place, it's possible that you haven't used it before or haven't used it recently enough for it to show up there. And so if instead you click on all apps, you end up with an alphabetical list of all your available tools, and Forms is available for us here. So we're going to click on that, and once it loads, you'll notice you have a couple of options here, either for creating a new form or a new quiz. For the purposes of this video, we're going to create a quiz, although I would point out that features are identical between the two, except that with a quiz, you must select a correct answer for each question that you add. So we'll click here on New Quiz. And up here at the top, if you click where it says Untitled, you can give your quiz a title. I'm going to call it Delete Me so that I get rid of this later. And then here you can enter a description, giving some sort of encouragement or additional instructions to your students before they get started on your quiz. So now I'll add my first new question, and we'll try out the multiple choice options here. And we'll start with the classic, what color is George Washington's white horse? And once you've added some content, it gives you suggested options. I'm just going to add all of those so I can show you how this works here. Of course, at any time, if you decide one of them is inappropriate, for instance, obviously no blue horses anywhere in our current known universe, you can just click the trash can to get rid of one. You also see here that with each option that you either add or that you take as a suggested option, that you can add a comment to it that your respondents will receive when they select that answer. But then before you move on, you want to make sure that you do select the correct answer from the list of choices you're giving so that it will auto grade your quiz. So let's look at some of the other options that are available in this question. You can allow students to pick more than one choice, and you can require a question. You also get to decide how many points your question is worth. And then here in the three dots, or the more settings option for the questions, you can have it shuffle your options. You can have a drop down instead of it just printing out all of the options at one time for the students. If you're needing a math question, you can use the equation editor that's available here. Of course, the equation editor is only available for you as the writer of the quiz. It's not available for your students to respond back to you. You can add a subtitle, and then we'll look at how the branching features work in an upcoming video. Okay, so let's add another question to look at another question type here. There's very little difference between the multiple choice and the text question, except that, of course, you get to add correct answers or answers that you'll accept for the auto grading purposes, and then you can make it a short or long answer right here. The same options that we saw in multiple choice, subtitle, restrictions, and math, are available here. Under restrictions, you get to decide whether or not you're looking for a number answer or a number that has some specific restrictions on it. If we go ahead and add another question here, the rating question that's available lets you do a question that has stars, or if you're so inclined, number rating, and you have lots of different levels here between 2 and 10 to choose from. And under the more options dots here, you can choose to label your levels, showing your respondents the low and high ends of the scale that you're using. If you do a date question, it's simply going to let you collect a date from your respondents. But if we go out here to the more options, the ranking question is a question type that teachers have come to know as a tech-enhanced question type. And it actually allows you to create the drag and drop ordering questions that we've started to see on state assessments and other purchased testing platforms in our school systems. And the student will be asked to drag and drop the options that you put here into the appropriate order. For the more options on this question, you have subtitle and then again the branching that we'll talk about later. One more question type I want us to look at together is the file upload. This is a great way for students to submit work to you through a file that you're requesting, and when you do that, it actually generates a folder in your OneDrive where the files your students upload will be stored for your access later. And so when you click OK, then it gives you options for deciding how many files they can upload and the size of files that you want them to upload. Last but not least, we're going to check out the Likert question here. Unlike the other question types for a quiz, there's no way on this Likert question to select the correct answer. But I do want to point out that you have a stem as well as statements here and options across the top. And these options are deletable, so you can have less options here across the top, and or you can add more as needed. And you can also add additional statements. And then last but not least, here in the 3 dots, you can add a subtitle for these or the branching features that we'll look at later. As always, if you have questions or need further assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks and have a great day.